So yeah, have you been to Australia?
Never. It is on my list. I won't lie, I'm scared of the spiders and the snakes and even the kangaroos. I see videos where kangaroos are like kicking the shit out of people. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it happens, mate. There's signs everywhere. You're not allowed to feed them. Speaking of which, your movie, there's a scene at the start of the film where two of the main characters, they're being intimate and they're on the bed, they're talking, and they actually bring up going to Australia. Uh, that was very interesting. So, why did you pick Australia for the script?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously there are a lot of expats who, go out to Australia, and I think that's still very much a thing where Australia is this desirable country because of the weather and all sorts. So yeah, it's that scene is supposed to be like a light-hearted scene where we're getting to know the couple and
Yeah,
their goals and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, Wes is kind of proud to take care of his family, and he says, "Look, you know, right now this is my town. This is where I'm settled.
yep.
But sure thing, I want to move to a nice big house with a swimming pool in Australia. I think that's everyone's dream deep down, right?"
Well, they did bring up going to the beach, living near the beach, but there's a lot of desert and rocks here as well, and rainforests.
Yeah, the characters haven't researched it properly, I don't think. But
That's all good. All good. Look, speaking of the beginning of the movie, you know what you're going to get in that locker room where the guys are all talking and they're having that conversation. Basically, that sets up the mood for the whole film. I think it's an uncomfortable watch, and I mean that in a good way. Your film reputation, was it meant to be like that? Because it's hardly entertaining. You wouldn't say, "Oh, watch it for entertainment."
yeah, no, it's interesting, because like you said, that word you've used there, entertainment, is the best word to kind of use for films because obviously a lot of people do want entertainment and they'll go to the cinema and they'll watch a big blockbuster. The Marvel
Yeah.
films are successful for a reason, right? I personally do find small films entertaining and anything
Oh yeah.
that you can just kind of relate to or get something out of. I mean, one of my favorite films is Dead Man's Shoes, Shane Meadows, and again,
Right.
it's an uncomfortable watch, and the characters aren't very likable, but that's real life, right? So a film is supposed to depict something that will make you feel something as an audience, and that doesn't necessarily have to be joy or glee
Sure.
or whatever. Um, of course, I know that that's going to then alienate some of the audience. It's not the most commercial film in the sense of the Marvel films and stuff, but I do think that there are a lot of people who like these gritty films that are about people and what they get up to. I
Yeah.
mean, that opening scene in the jiu-jitsu club changing rooms. Even Wes's first line, I think he uses the C word and stuff, which was improvised, by the way. That initial line from him wasn't what I wrote.
Okay.
Because he's talking about someone being nosy and he calls them a nosy,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. But in the scripts, he referenced, the Matrix, the Oracle. So
Yes.
my script said, yeah, what it means, like the Oracle. So on the day of filming with James Nelson-Joyce, I was like, yeah, this is the line, and he's like, yeah, that's a bit nerdy. That I think we should do this. So it kind of, it's a very abrasive comment for the lead character just to be casually swearing and stuff. But I think, like you touched on, it really does set up the rest of the film, because this is how people talk, rightly or wrongly. Men talk sometimes in disgusting ways, and obviously we're living in
Yep.
a world now where obviously people do get offended by stuff, but I think the idea
Sure.
of censorship and just not including certain things, I just don't think it's authentic. So for me, I tried to make something that I think would be authentic for this type of story, and personally I think I've achieved that. I
Yeah.
agree with you that it's probably not the most entertaining in that sense of the word of someone can just kind of switch off for an hour and a half, because I personally don't want to switch off when I watch a film. I want to be fully engaged and fully
Oh yeah.
invested in those characters.
It's a shame you didn't keep the Oracle line in there. Another reference to Australia because the Matrix movies were filmed down under. So there
Oh,
you
right,
go.
amazing. Yeah.
And just drawing a long bow there, mate. Your movie reputation reminded me of Ken Loach films. where they're real, like on the street. Some of the scenes look like they were filmed just on the fly. Did you have permits, or were they filmed? Just were the actors doing their thing in public?
Yeah, no permits. On the fly is correct. Guerrilla filmmaking, if you will. Uh,
Yeah,
I mean, legally, you can film on a public street. Like that is, in the UK, that isn't an offence and stuff. But
right.
obviously, you might then have other people on the street. So one of the scenes where a couple of characters are walking towards one of the terraced houses, a school must have just finished, and there were loads of kids around. And the crew was so small that we didn't then have location marshals who would be in the high vis and the kind of like telling
Yeah,
people where to go. So I personally had to kind of shout across the road like, "Oh, we're filming this. Do you mind just giving us like 2 minutes of silence?" So, but again, I think that adds to the vibe that I was going for. I mean, Ken Loach again, a
yeah,
huge influence. Social realism.
yeah,
Again, it goes back to what you said. Like, would the average Joe describe Kes as an entertaining film? I mean, I would, but I don't think the average
sure.
Joe would necessarily. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think films that depict a slice of life and really put you into a time and a place. We're in the year 2025 now, but this is the world that we live in. So the characters are low-level drug dealers, and that is definitely still going on. So it needed to be depicted.
yeah. Uh, Tommy, your character Tommy just got under my skin. I did not like him at all. His haircut was annoying, and he reminded me of Begbie out of Trainspotting. He's mates with these guys, but he's also just loose. He's a loose cannon. So well done on casting him in particular. I mean, I did not like him, but again, that's a bit of a compliment because he got under my skin.
Yeah, no. So again, it's a compliment as well to the actor because Kyle Rowe, who plays Tommy, is a
Yeah,
lovely guy. Like that is not what he's like at all.
good to hear.
Yeah. So when obviously you mentioned Begbie and
Train spotting.
even Combo from This Is England. These
Oh
these
yeah,
are
yeah,
characters that we have seen before, but that's probably because they are real people. These are people that exist in the world. We've tried
yeah,
to pick someone that you know is a nasty piece of work, and yeah, I think that particularly men, but probably women as well. We all kind of have a friend or two that you've known since, say, high school, secondary school. You've known them since you were a kid, and they're just
mm,
part of your life, right? And you can't kind of shake them off. So even though you probably realise that they're not the best person, and that they do make casually racist comments or misogynistic comments, these are people that exist, and that's why it's the film is set over a short period of time
yeah,
where characters come out of prison for a short. He's done a short sentence. It's all subtly touched on that he was in there for 14 weeks. In my head, he's done like a little 3 month sentence for assault or a fray or something small, but he's come
right.
out. He's even more kind of aggressive and cocky, and it's just like spiraling out of control. And Wes is really starting to deal with his own morals, of what's right and what's wrong. So yeah, the character not likable is correct. But
It's real life. There are
it's
guys
real
like
life.
him,
That's
I'm
what
sure.
It's, again, what I talked about Marvel. Like Marvel films, you've got your good guy and your bad guy, right? Now, in films like Kes or whatever, you're always going to get characters that are
Yeah,
antagonistic, and you need that to kind of balance a narrative and stuff. And but
yeah.
yeah, it's loosely based on some true experiences of my co-writer Dean Gregson. So he
I
grew
was
up.
going to ask that. Was it based on any facts or real life experiences?
Yeah, so we've set it in a fictional town within Lancashire, but where we filmed, Accrington, Great Harwood, Clayton-le Moors, Rishton, these are real towns that you've got the juxtaposition of the terraced houses and boarded up shops and all this kind of stuff with then the beautiful scenery. And it's like in these small towns, it'll be the same everywhere. It'll be the same in Australia, it'll be the same in Germany. You
Yeah,
do get people up to no good and, exploiting people and doing all these things. I mean, again, it's a subtle reference, but hopefully people got it. Cuckooing is something that happens in the film where they've taken advantage of a
yeah.
a disabled man, and they're dealing drugs from his house, and it's like
Mm,
this kind of stuff happens a lot.
mm,
But yeah, my co-writer Dean Gregson, we've been discussing this film for years, so the writing process took a long time because we wanted it to be as real as possible. We didn't just want to give that kind of rise and fall of a gangster where they're making hundreds and hundreds of thousands or millions from cocaine or something. So
yeah.
that's why we created a fictional drug set in a fictional town, because it's not really about that. It's about the characters and you know, their their thoughts, their feelings, their experiences, and yeah, tried to make it as gritty and as real as possible.
Well, I know I've got to wrap it up, but I don't want to go without asking you about Olivia Francis Brown. Or did you know her before casting her in this? Or I think she's one out of many of your cast members that really made an impact for me. Just a
Amazing.
natural, just a
Yeah, yeah.
natural.
No, I mean, I genuinely had no connections in the film industry whatsoever.
Okay,
I've just kind of I ran a podcast myself a few years ago where I've interviewed filmmakers, and I've just been learning really about how to make a low budget film. And obviously casting is something that is so important when it comes to filmmaking. And I think my one of my biggest strengths, because I directed it and I also produced it, which are two very different roles. And
oh
I'd
yeah,
possibly
definitely.
say I'd possibly say that I'm a better producer, because my role as a producer is bringing people together. It's like spotting talented people and bringing them together. So I found all the cast and I found all the crew. Olivia, I found through her agency. So I'd contacted an agency. They were based in
Great.
Manchester. They sent a list of names for the roles. I kind of looked at the show reels. I thought she'd be great. And then she did a
Yep.
self tape. Then we had a Zoom call like this. And yeah, it was that, I don't want to put down anyone's jobs in the industry, but it's like, for me, that was how simple it was, And I've obviously, you probably saw from the credits, I've done a lot of jobs to kind of keep the budget down and stuff.
I noticed.
I've probably done, like 50, 60 grand's worth of work on this film to keep the budget as low as possible. And
Yeah.
in a way, I also wanted to do those roles to prove that I could do them. So, again, casting directors, there are very skilled individuals out there and stuff. But I now think, based on the fact that I cast this film, I should be hired to be a casting director for a bigger production, because I think I know good talent, right? I mean, you've just complimented Olivia, which is great. I think
Yeah.
Rowe is great.
Yeah.
James, Robin, who played the two sisters. I'm so happy with the cast and the
Yeah.
crew. Yeah, filmmaking is a collaborative thing, and you just need to bring people together. And without patting myself on the back too much, I think that's what I did well with this film.
Mate, pat yourself on the back. You've got a movie together. You put it on the screen, and people are watching it like me, around the world. And hopefully, it'll lead to more things. But if you're a successful producer, that could lead you anywhere. Keeping movies under budget, that is a skill.
Exactly. Yeah.
Independent or not, keep producing is hard. So,
Yeah. No, thank you so
congratulations.
much.
To wrap it up, why should people watch Reputation in one or two sentences? If people are wanting to watch something really gritty, why should they choose your movie?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, support independent filmmaking, because
Of course,
we live
yeah,
in a capitalist world where it is just Disney churning out remakes, or live action remakes of animated films, or we've got a new Superman at the moment, right? And it's like the third in my generation, it's the third reboot of Superman, like the third actor to play Superman, and it's like I personally don't think audiences should be giving their money to these things, because
yeah,
we're going to keep getting it. There'll be another Superman in 10 years or whatever. So
yeah.
this is a really low level, low budget film, but with high ambitions and high quality. I think it exceeds the budget massively, and obviously I'm proud of it, of course. But I think anybody who's into films about people, about real life experiences, and and they're not afraid to feel uncomfortable by what they're watching, check it out.
Well, great to meet you, mate. I've just come. Speaking of Marvel, I've come from Fantastic Four, big premiere in Sydney, and look, I've come home and I'm talking to you about an independent film, so I couldn't be happier, mate. So all the
Amazing.
best.
Thank you so much, Shane. Really
Nice to
appreciate
meet you,
it.
Martin. Hope
And
we
if I
talk
do come to
again.
Australia, I'm going to come for a drink.
Oh, mate, I'll buy you a couple of. We don't have pints here. We have schooners.
Schooners, right? Okay, good to know.
Yeah, we have. You see, when you go to the bar, ask for a schooner, not a pint.
Amazing. Thank you so much, buddy. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, mate. See
See you
ya.
later.